So a jail maintenance worker has been arrested in connection to the jailbreak in which 10 inmates escaped from a New Orleans jail. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the New Orleans jailbreak in which 10, not one, not two, but 10 inmates escaped all at one time. Of course, it was an inside job, and that guy's been arrested. Now, I think there was more than one guy involved. They got the maintenance guy talking about he cut the water to the toilet and helped him take the toilet off the wall. But I think there were a few more moving parts because, okay, you got the maintenance guy to remove the toilet off the wall. Okay, were there no guards outside? Was there no cameras, no lights, motion detector? I mean, look, you got the guys on camera. You saw that in the beginning. So at least you had some kind of camera footage. Was nobody watching the camera? I don't think it was the maintenance guy's job to watch the camera. Was it anyone's job to watch the camera? I mean, if you had a tied up pit bull outside, that would have been a better alert than whatever they had going on. This, in my humble opinion, is an institutional failure from the top to the bottom. The maintenance guy might be the fall guy, in my humble opinion, because I think there's more issues here other than that. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the actual news clip. Of course, I will always link to the news clip in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
A maintenance worker at the Orleans Parish Justice Center has now been arrested and booked into jail. The district attorney claims the...
Do you see all this? Let me just kind of start from the beginning. I just want to watch this break. You have how many guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It might have been even 11 that came in at the end. All those guys escaped at once and nobody knows anything. Now, again, the jailbreak took place at about 1 a.m. 8:30 a.m. They do count and they realize, oh, we got a few guys missing. I wonder where they are. I wonder what happened. Then they realize they escaped. Like I said, I think there's more than one guy to blame, but I digress. Let me start from the top.
A maintenance worker at the Orleans Parish Justice Center has now been arrested and booked into jail. The district attorney claims the worker shut off water to the toilet, helping 10 inmates escape on Friday. Police have since arrested 4 of the...
So let's start here. Okay, let's go back to the toilet. So we see the toilet off the wall. All right. And they were able to escape through those bars right there. See, the bar at the top is a little bit wider, been stretched out. They were able to kind of just slither through the air and get out that way. Okay, so that's one part. But now let's go forward right here. Okay, you got guys taking the cell door off the wall. Did the maintenance guy do that as well? And there's nobody watching them do this right here? How are you able to do all this activity and nobody knows anything? And the only guy they want to blame is a maintenance worker.
Escaped inmates, 6 remain on the run. ABC's Faith Abube is in New Orleans with the latest. And Faith, you just spoke with the district attorney about the arrest. What more can you tell us?
And before Faith begins, if you didn't hear that last part or the first part of where I began, she said 6 of the guys are still on the run. And I don't think they're going to find all of them.
Yeah, Stephanie, we were speaking with the district attorney when that employee was arrested and booked into jail. So details coming to us as it was happening. The DA telling me that he's extremely frustrated that there was such a breakdown in the system and that what they had suspected for days that this may have been an inside job, the evidence has actually led them to that. According to investigators, soon after the escape on Friday, they started interviewing employees at the jail there, and they actually talked to Sterling Williams, the maintenance worker there, and he was the one who admitted to investigators that during the escape, in the early hours of the escape, the inmates asked him to turn off the water to the toilet, that they would move out of the way and crawl behind. You remember we've been reporting that the inmates were able to get into a cell, move away a toilet, crawl through a hole, and got away from the jail running on an interstate. He, according to investigators, Sterling Williams was part of that plot because he was able to turn off that water. I just want to read some of what the DA had to tell us in terms of how this happened. He said, you know, even Stephen Wonder can see that this was an inside job.
Stevie Wonder, she might be first generation. She might not understand that reference, and she's pretty young. So she don't really understand. But Stevie Wonder, meaning anybody, a blind man could have seen it. Let me just start from the beginning of that.
Wonder.
Hold on. There we go right here.
In terms of how this happened. And he said, you know, even Stephen Wonder can see that this was an inside job. 10 violent offenders don't make their way into a pod made for two and make good their escape through concrete, rebar, and barbed wire without being getting some sort of assistance. So right now the investigation is continuing. This is part of a larger investigation that involves other employees there at the jail. We know 3 other employees have been suspended. The DA says we could see more arrests in this case.
Oh, so we got 3 others that have been suspended. Okay, then why am I only hearing about the maintenance worker? Let me see if they have more in the article right here. This is going to be ABC News. Okay, shout out to them. Now, I don't see much about the other employees here. All I says right here is that 4 other jail employees have been suspended in this investigation. But let's go down a little bit because they said something else that's pretty important. So an arrest affidavit filed in the case alleges that Sterling Williams, the maintenance worker, told investigators one of the inmates threatened to shank him if he did not assist them in the escape plan. During a Mirandized interview with Williams, he explained to the agents that he turned off the water from the outside pipe walk area on the exterior of cell 6 under the direction of a light-skinned black male with tattoos on his face, who he named as Massey, Antoine Massey, who threatened to shank him if he did not turn the water off. Now, do y'all believe that? Because if that's true, that's a pretty important detail to leave out, that the inmate was threatening the maintenance worker. So we got a problem with staff safety in the jail if that's the case. And I wouldn't really be surprised because, I mean, look at this. They had time to draw on here. Now, I'm not going to say all of what it says. It's pretty inappropriate, but you see, it says too easy, LOL. Of course, two is spelled wrong. You're dealing with inmates in New Orleans. They're not going to know how to read. It also says we innocent and a few more things that they had blurred out, a bunch of vulgar language, but basically they ripped the door off the hinges, took that off the hinges, went in there and drew, scrabbled, and got 10 guys out of that one hole. And the only thing we have right now is a maintenance guy, although 4 people have been put on leave. Now, who are these people? What did they do? What was their role in this whole situation? Ultimately, again, this is an institutional failure from top to bottom. The maintenance guy being lowest on the totem pole, because you got to have security inside the jail, outside the jail, perimeter defense, cameras, who's watching the cameras. This is totally crazy. And it shows just how far some of our systems have fallen in this country. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the people who work in corrections, who don't engage in corruption. Shout out to prisons, jails, etc., that are not overtaken by the inmates. The inmates are not running the asylum because all of that activity was just way too much. The door, taking that off, toilet, same thing. You're in there having a party with 10 guys, 1 o'clock in the morning, and nobody knows nothing until hours later. It's totally crazy, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this whole situation? The update, we have at least 1 guy who has been arrested and 4 others suspended. Maybe they suspended them, but it's not enough right now to get them locked up. And since they don't have that, they don't want to reveal the information. But I want to know how the whole thing really transpired. Give me the full story. All we getting right now is a piece. Okay, the maintenance guy turned the water off. Okay, cool. We get that part. And he says he was threatening to do it. I wouldn't really doubt it. That's definitely possible if all of that could go on and nobody would come. Listen, if the inmates are able to take the door off the hinges and the toilet, escape, have time to write stuff, and there's 10 of them going through the little, going through this little hole right here. 10 of them going through that little hole right there. And it's like nobody knows anything. They could have done something to the maintenance guy without anybody knowing anything, just the same. But whatever your thoughts on this are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.